Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in. Welcome to today's session on enhancing your Caseware experience. So the team and I are excited to share the latest updates to the MCS template. Please join with us as we take you through what has changed in MCS. So a bit of an agenda from our side. The first part that we'll get through to is the overview of the MCS 2024.12.01, after which we'll get through the demo of the updates. And lastly, we will be taking any questions that you might have. So I'm not alone. My name is Michael. I'm the product manager for our public sector products. I'm joined by Stefan, who is not new, but rather you've been working with him over the past years. I actually took over from Stefan as he changed roles into content creator role. So welcome, Stefan, and then thank you again. So the webinar will be hosted by the two of us. So just a bit of a timeline as far as where we are or where we've come from as far as this MCS release is concerned. So we released MCS on the 4th of December 2024, which is the update that's currently available. And today where we are hosting this webinar on the 21st of January. And the aim is for this particular release to assist you with the Q3 submissions, which will be due at the end of February. Right. So what is included in this release? So the first part is the compliance updates. Right. So the first part is the alignment to the MCS specimen for 2025, which is the departmental specimen for AFS 2024 to 2025, and the final June 2024, which was updated in December 2024, right? We have also included automation of the Excel apps for 2025, according to National Treasury Excel apps for 2024-2025, which was updated with the page 1 of 2024-25. Included also is the new version of SCORE, the accounts list that was published on 30 September 2024. Now, a bit of detail as far as what changed in the apps. So the first one is the ACP, the leases. Then we get the ACP prepayments. And again, don't worry, we'll be going through this in the product as to what exactly and showing you where the changes are. And then we've got the notes to aid assistance, departmental revenue, expenditure for capital assets, immovable tangible assets, intangible capital assets, movable tangible assets, prepayments and advances, voted funds to be surrendered. So these are the changes that were included in the AFS. So now I will hand over to Stefan. He will take us through the actual products as far as the minimum requirements that are required, the process that you'll go through in order to update, and also give us a demo as an overview in the actual software of where the changes are. Stefan, over to you.
Thank you, Michael. I just want to check that you can see my screen. Okay, great. Okay, good morning, colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to showcase to you our latest changes. Just hold on. Okay, okay. Sorry about that. I just need to change my screen. Sorry about that. Let's go there. This is where I want to be. Thank you. Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you again for giving this opportunity. As Michael has so elegantly gave us an overview. Let me take you a bit more into detail. So I think normally what you will do. We're just having feedback, so just hold on. Okay, thank you. What will happen is that you should have received in December an email that notify you of the latest release. What was important for us on the content side was that National Treasury actually issued an update to the specimen financial statements, as well as to the Excel financial statements, a new patch, and we wanted to include that in the release. So in December, or that was sort of beginning late November, that was released. So we need to quickly jump on it and include those changes in the financial statements. So whenever you get now this update, you actually know that you've got the latest released versions from National Treasury, and that is what we included in the update. So the process is that you will get the email, and your email will give you an overview of what is in the release, which Michael has done. And the email will actually direct you to the Caseware community website. Okay. So in the Caseware community website, it is the website where we give product information, as well as the website where you will get access to the software. So if you are directed to this website, you will see, let's just log out quickly there. You will see there's a login screen, and then click on the login screen. You, during your onboarding process at Caseware, would have received login details to Caseware community. Not all the users get login details to Caseware community. We normally only provide it to the Caseware champions. And you will have your login details, your email address, and the password that you could change. And that will now, if you log into the website, now you will have access to get the software. If you don't have this login details, please contact your account manager and just checking with them for you to get the login details. What often happen is there's a change in the Caseware champion, as the person dealing with Caseware at your department maybe has left or has been moved, and now you taking over, you need to have access to the software, and then we need to transfer that access to the Caseware community from the previous Caseware champion to the new Caseware champion, and that is unfortunately a process that we need to contact Caseware, give them the details, and we would then need to change the login. Okay, so to get access to this, after you've logged in, you will click and you will see this menu. Normally, you need to also have the correct right to get access to the software. Most users have access just as on the profile, and maybe just to as a very high level. However, in order for you to have the access to the software, you need to see these menus here: my firm cases, my licenses, my account, and the very important one, my software. And if you don't see that, then it means that, okay, you have access to the Caseware community website, but you don't have the correct rights yet to get access to the Caseware community website. Again, we want to limit the user's rights to get the software to the appointed Caseware champion at your department, because it's easier for one person at the department that takes responsibility to get the software, download the software. If you click on my software, it will take you to a launch download screen, and it will start downloading the software. I'm just gonna pause it. I don't want now to continue with it. And you will download the software, and but we want only a specific person then to download the software, and then internally you can distribute the software to whoever that needs to get access to the software. I also want to show you, I just want to go back here one step. If I just log out, I also want to show you that at the Caseware community, there is the chat with us function as well. So I know that users really struggle sometimes to get in touch with the support team telephonically. I don't think it's a challenge to get in touch with our accounts team, which is dealing with the invoices and with the licenses and so forth. But sometimes to get to phone our support team, you could wait a while in the queue, and that takes unfortunately we need to take some days we've got high call volumes, and it's just a frustration. But that's why we introduced the chat functionality, where you can get access to the chat functionality, go to the Caseware community website, and look for the chat with us bot. Start with your conversation, and what's happening here is that you're not actually speaking here to, you see there's a login process. You're not speaking here to a bot. After you've completed your login process, you will actually be directed to a warm body that will be responding to your query via the chat. Okay, so I think that is very important. You can see here, I'm not that email address of mine is not listed on the system, but that's why this is where your registration as to your email is very important as a license holder at Caseware, because that will also give you access to communicate with the support team via the chat. This is our preferred method. This is the Caseware's preferred method of support communication, and so we would really recommend you to go to your Caseware community website to make sure that you've got the logins, to make sure, just do a test run on the chat, make sure that you can speak to the support team, and then you know that when you really need them, you can easily reach out to the team. Okay. But just go back to the login after you've logged in, and after you went to your name, you go to My Software, you'll click on Launch Download. It will download the installation onto your workstation. So that download will go download here. The installation file will look like this. This is a previous download which I've done, and then it's just a question. This is now like an installation file, so you can and move this file to anywhere. You can use this file to give to your other colleagues that needs to have Caseware installed. So this is now the installation file that you've got access, that you access now from the Caseware community. In order now to the next step in this file is to just double click on it, and it will then launch our brand new installation wizard. You would see it will look now different to the previous wizard. I think our tech team did a great job here, and you can just go through the installation process and click next, and you need to give all your authorization code and your download code, and that authorization code. So I don't want to show you too much. I just need to switch off my PC at that point. But and that authorization code is the code that if you now logged into your community, you would have seen that there's the authorization code is listed here. So that's the authorization code that you can just copy from your community, paste it into the installation file, and that will help you to install the software. At this point, it's important it could be required to have your IT team close by, because in order to run this installation, the software installation on your workstation, this software installation does require read and write administrative rights, local administrative rights. So because if you think about it, we are installing software on your workstation. Your IT department don't want just any software to be installed on the workstation, so they have rules in place, and then you will but the software does require local administration rights to get installed. Therefore, you need to log a call with your IT team. They must come around, help you to install the software. They will put in all the relevant passwords and details, and then after that, you will have installed the software on your workstation. Okay. After you've installed the software, then it actually doesn't mean that your file has yet been updated. It just now means that the workstation has been prepared with the and has been updated with the latest versions of the software. But when we apply the content changes to the file, there is one additional approval you need to do. Okay, but on this, what will happen now is, so I've got a few files already open, but you can launch your Caseware application by going to your Start button, and that will launch your Caseware application, or you can launch the application from from the icon on your desktop, but this is where you launch the application. Very important to note is that with this release, we released a new template for modified cash on a new version of Caseware Working Papers. So you would see that, and that's why on the installation, you need to make sure that you've installed, and I just want to get to this minimum requirements that Michael was talking about. You need to ensure that you have installed Caseware Working Papers, you've installed Caseware Connector, as well as you've installed the modified cache template. So those are the three things you need to select when you install the software from that installation file. Okay. So what will happen if you select those software, that installations, and those are the required. If you want to get differently set, if you want to get the latest template, you need to install all three of them, because the latest template needs Caseware Working Papers 2024. How do I check what version of Caseware I have? Is that I can, when I've now launched the application, either from my start or from the shortcut key on my desktop, it will look like this. I can go to help, and there I can see, okay, the latest version of the software, Caseware version 2024-164, has been installed on my workstation. I can even go and check on templates, and I can check, okay, the modified cache, the latest version of the modified cache template has been installed, 2024-12-01. And you can see that this is not a calendar indication, that 2024. That 2024 version indicates the working paper version required for this template. So you can see that 2024 is the Caseware working paper requirement for this product. 12 indicates that that's the code on Caseware side for the modified cache template, and 01 is just a version of the template, plus the ET is the iteration of that version. So that you can confirm then is the right software that you need to have installed on your workstation. Now you are ready. So what will happen now at this point is that you can browse to your existing file, and the first thing, and I'm just going to open up the file. The first thing that you will see is this screen popping up, which is the file conversion screen. So this is not yet a content update. What this screen is saying is that the previous, your current file, we're using Caseware Working Papers 2023, and we've now installed Caseware Working Papers 2024, and we just need to upgrade that file from Caseware Working Papers 2023 to 2024. So let's do it. So I'm now upgrading this file. You can see there is like a requirement. You will be, it will automatically, if you have that box ticked, it will automatically make a backup of the file before you run the conversion, and the backup will go and be stored under your documents folder in your on your normal documents folder. That's the default path for the backup. You can see it's a conversion backup that has been installed, and so we make double sure that if you now convert your file from 2023 to 2024, that you have now updated the file. So now it's the normal login, and what you will see now is that additional approval that you need to do to run the content update. At Caseware, we are very user-driven, so you can opt out not to run the content update on this file. For other, maybe you just want to print out the file as is, and you don't want to make any changes because somebody urgently wants to have the file copy as is, and so you can opt out from the update. Nothing has at this stage changed on your file. You can just go to your file and do what you have normally has done, even though you are now working on a higher version of Caseware. Practically nothing has changed in your file, and you're just on a higher version, but you still have your file before you've run the update. You can see this version is 2023 1201 or 1202. But if you at a point want to now run the update, you can either if you go out of this file, you close down this file, go back into the file, the update wizard will pop up again. So you can just use at that opportunity then to see the wizard again, or you can click on this button, click for updates, and it will bring back the update wizard for you. Okay, so this is now the update wizard. You are in control of the content that you are adding to the file, and you need to make now approval. You've got two options to update a file. You've got a full update, which will actually override your file, bring it back to the original template version, but any customizations would be lost. So we don't recommend that version. If you just want to add the latest content, we will recommend the second option, which is the update the financial statements, and to replace only the content which has changed my current financial statements, and this update your financial statements will with content where disclosure has changed and may require software changes without impacting other areas. And so it's recommended for the maximum data retention, and if the file is not older than 2 versions from the current market version. Okay, so you would see that you can still not run that, even though you've selected that I want to run an update, you can still not enact the update, because you first need to confirm that you have made a backup. Normally, if you've now made a conversion backup, you've done a backup at that point of time. But if you just want to make double sure, you can go and at this point make another backup, and after you've made a backup, you are then able to run the update. You can click this button, and then the content changes will apply to this specific file. Okay. So that is then the process you need to take through. Need to take in order to update the file. One thing we had a chat with the client, and they were a bit concerned about the update, how it's going to impact my file. And one thing you need to remember of the file, this update is file specific. So if you really are you want to check out how does you've got your official file, but you want to check out how the update actually impact the file, you can, and it's 100% fine. You can go to a backup of the file that you maybe previously has made. Let's just go to my documents. There's the conversion backup. There's a conversion backup. You can go to the backup of the file, even make a copy of the backup, run the update on that file, see how the impact of the update will be, do your like a pre-assessment, and if you say, okay, no, this update looks solid, then you can throw away that test file and go back to your original file, and then officially run the update on your original file, and you know that, listen, I've tested the update before I've run the update on my file on a backup, and I actually it's very important. This version is just file management. It's then good to if you've made a backup of that file, delete it, get rid of it, and only run the update on your official file. So it's very flexible for you to get a good understanding of what's happening in the file. Okay, so I've got here a file. I've already completed the update. You can see the version. If you open up the file, the version there at the top now says 2024-1201, and this means that your file has been now updated with the latest content. Okay, let's start off with the financial statements. Okay, Remember on the import from Vulindlela is we haven't made any major changes here, but it has been, some of the logic has been updated specifically regarding the auto map from the SCOA, happens during the import process. So and there was about 150 new accounts that was issued on the SCOA, which we have added to the automap logic. So remember how the automap logic works is that if you now go to Vulindlela, you download your revenue control report, you download your expense control report, you download your trial balance as at your last month end. You can browse to them. So let's just browse to some of those files. There's the and remember, very important on your Vulindlela files, just download those files. Don't open it up. The moment you start open up that file that has been downloaded, then the import will not work anymore. And that's a small control measure that we've put in place. So you can download those files, just browse them to the files that you want to import. And so you can see here, this is as at the end of June. I'm not going to import this file. And then you can import the file. Just whilst we had the screen, a quick reminder on these options, which we introduced last year, but it's very important to understand them because they really help you on making sure that your adjustments budget changes, your changes to environments, your changes to shifts, your changes to the post adjustments environments and shifts are dealt correctly. So let's just quickly just revisit this. So in the these two options here is really this option here is you want to default back to the release version mapping. The use case for this is really when you just want to you feel that your mapping is so wrong over time that you want to bring it back to the standard Caseware mapping, then you can tick it and it will override any of the remaps that you've done manually yourself in the file. Normally, this is not, you don't use this option often because you has remapped accounts because there was a specific reason why you did it. So that's more like when there is like I want to go back to the default settings, then I will use this option. Include a prior is also really when you only utilize when you do the setup of the Caseware file, because remember at this time you would have done a year-end close on your 2020, your file ending March 2024, and because you would have done a year-end close to create a file for the 2025 year to do your Q1 and your Q2 already. So and with the year-end close, the prior year information is actually getting updated. So the import of prior reports you only really do when you import, when you set up the file. Okay, so those two are like just not widely used and only specific case. But then you have your budget options. On your budget options, you have the default option is where you only import the original budget only. This normally happens when you could have maybe have some shiftings environments coming through on your system, but they have not yet been approved, and your only approved budget you want to include in your reports is the original budget that is in Vulindlela, and if you don't tick anything, that is the only version of the budget that will be imported. Okay. Then you have a second option, which is the original budget with variance and shifts separately. So maybe in your Wundlela and BAS, you have the variance and shifts you want. Now it has been approved and you want to show them separate from the original budget. Then you select this option. Our understanding is that like the original budget, you really use up to maybe quarter one, and maybe up to quarter two, but maybe from quarter two, depends on your approvals, and you already start using the original budget with variance and shifts separately, and for quarter two, and but then at the end of quarter two, your adjustments budgets process occur, and that is when you want to switch from your original budget to the adjustments budget to be the first column on your statement, on your appropriation statement, and that is when you select this option, because this now option says that okay, it will take the adjustments budget to be now the first column on your appropriation statement, because your adjustments budget has now been approved in November, and therefore you want to report against your adjusted budget, and any shifts and variants that maybe have occurred after the adjustments budget would then also be shown separate to the adjustments budget. But these variants and shifts that's showing here is really only those variants and shifts that occur after the adjustments budget. And this is also our understanding from the BAS notice how the adjustments budget process should be handled. So it's very important for your team to make sure that they use the correct budget types in Wundlela when posting budget adjustments, specifically the variance and shifts, that I use the correct, because there's there's normal shifts and variants, and which occur during the year, which will automatically be included in the adjustments budget. But then there's a specific budget type for post-adjustment variance and shifts, and when you capture your post-adjustments variance and shifts with those budget types, those amounts are going to be shown separately on your statement, on your appropriation statement. Okay, so these are the rules that we implemented last year, but I think it's always good just to revisit them at this stage. And remember, this is something I believe is the correct option to utilize in quarter 3 and quarter 4. Okay, cool. And there is a bit more also. If you click here, it will take you to a knowledge-based article that just explains what I just verbally took you through here. Okay, good. So let's just cancel. I'm not going to do any import now. So one of the items that we did have was the change in the SCOA, and I'm just going to make it like this. So that we normally check out at Treasury what is the latest SCOA version. The latest one that was published when we checked out in December was up to September, and we made sure all the new SCOA accounts from the last published version of SCOA were included. Okay. Then now you can launch your financial statements. Good news is that we were not required to make any major changes on the appropriation statement. If you compare what was in the specimen to change in the specimen from 2024 to the previous year, then there wasn't any changes required to be in the that we need to make to the appropriation statement. So the only changes that we needed to make were in the financial statements itself, and then also a big, we needed to update the Excel financial statements, and we need to rewrite. So I think the most of our time and effort went into the Excel, updating the Excel financial statements, because we needed to update that whole Excel financial statements to the new version in 2020, and that was released for 2025. Okay, what is in this new version? The biggest change, and I think this is the talking point, is the change regarding finance leases, and on the accounting policy, that this paragraph have been added is that finance lease assets acquired prior to 1st of April 2024 are recorded and measured at the present value of the minimum lease payments. And then another change that was enacted were the recognition on prepayment and advances. This paragraph has been added: prepayments and advances expense before 1st of April 2024 are recorded until the goods and services or capital assets are received or the funds are utilized in accordance with the contractual arrangement. So, which means after that date, prepayments and advances are recognized in a statement of a financial position when the department receives or distributes the cash, and it measures that cost. And the same applies then to the leases, is that only this are measured and recorded the minimum present value of the minimum lease payments, but from the 1st of April 2024 onwards, finance lease payments made during the reporting period are recognized as a capital expenditure in the statement of financial performance on the date of the payment. Finance leases received are recognized as departmental lease payments received are recognized as departmental revenue, and the finance lease commitments are recorded in the notes. This is an interim, this is just a setting. Remember how that setting works. Let's just make sure that we're all on that page. If you go here to your settings and format, you've got your report details, and here you can change it to annual financial statements. I'm just going to change it there so that we just see that as well. Okay, so that's annual financial statements. You go to your accounting policy, and then you go to your talking about leases, and you can see that now. Okay, now it has been updated to say the annual financial statements. Finance lease commitments are recorded in the notes to the annual financial statements and are not apportionate between the capital and interest portion, the lease commitments. So I think that is from the biggest change that you need to consider on those accounting policies, and then those accounting policies drives all the other changes that we have made. So on the cash flow statement, payments for financial assets, I just want to see where is that change that we need to bring in. I think let's see here. Oh yeah, the increase and a decrease in because I think what also happened with the split between the prepayments and advances, the current and non-current portion, and that has also impact on the cash flow statement. So that was the one change that was taken through. Then if we go to it's always sometimes easier to do this via the document map. I just want to enact the document map. And if we go to the notes that we listed there. Let's go to our movable tangible assets. You would see that in the movable tangible assets note, we have added the finance lease assets line item. In the intangible capital assets note, the finance lease asset has been added there. In the which one more? I should check. There is that one. These commitments, as you see here. Yeah, okay. So, and then also, oh, sorry, in the notes, you've got also your small your capital work in progress, as well as your smaller capital assets that is that also needs to be updated. So I'm going to go to that note there. Here, so I just forgot capital expenditure, immovable expenditure of capital assets. That's the one I was looking for. So expenditure for capital assets, and this note has also been updated. So let's go to the expenditure for capital assets, and just need to update this note. This note has been added. Finance lease expenditure included in expenditure of capital assets. Okay. So let's just check on the other ones. We've covered that one, the prepayment and advances note we've covered. Departmental and the aid assistance. Okay, let's just go to them. On the departmental revenue, there's a new subnote that has been added on the, or changes to the subnote on the sale of capital assets. I just want to see here on transfers received, and no, sorry, not that. It was the additional a change. Apologies, step back. The leases didn't impact departmental revenue. It was the change on the disclosure for the gifts, donations, and sponsorship received, and not included in the main subnote. There is a new note, a summary that has been added, with its link to the annexure 1H. Okay. So there's just these few changes that has been made to the financial statements. Not, I think, from a content point of view, not major changes. However, from a measurement and recognition point of view, the way you need to deal with your leases and prepayments has changed the recognition, and there's a little bit of work on making sure you've got the right numbers and values now in your file. Okay. If I now jump to the Excel version, as I mentioned, there was a lot of work we need to do on the Excel version. So if you go to your to the document manager and to open up the Excel version, so what you will see, and this is why I want to show you a real life example, is that after the update, these three documents would automatically be added to your document manager. This Excel financial statements here with the previous version, but these three documents would have been added to your Excel financial statements. You see is the template, the macro to import the prior year trial balance information, as well as the patch. The patch we just include just for completeness purposes. However, the patch we've already applied to this new version that we have added to the document manager. So what you would need to do is just open up your Excel financial statements. So I just want to just give it a moment to recalculate. So it's just taking a while to recalculate. Enable. And what will happen at this point is that the moment you open up your Excel, so this is a brand new Excel document that of the latest version that was released with the latest macro. So this is the December version of the Excel financial statements that was released, plus the macro has been added that will now be recalculating. So the moment you now open it up, all the formulas just needs to be recalculated so that we can just see how it looks like. So I'm just going to close down this file here. I just give it a moment. This is where the connector version is very important. You can check out now that where you see the right connector version. Let's give it a moment. So this is normally, you know, and when you open up your Excel, it does now all the recalculations of all the linkages to the database. And so it does take a while, but after this, your Excel financial statements would be updated. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, still recalculating, so I just need to be patient. You can see there at the bottom right corner, it's calculating still at 7%. So let's give it just give it a moment to complete the calculations. You are, I think you're just as happy as me to see that all those not applicables disappear and you start seeing numbers. Hallelujah! And this is the right version. You can see here on the cover page, it's the final. This is the right. This is the new version that was released for the 2025 financial year. It was published in July for the 2025 year. Okay, so this is step one. Step two is that if you go to your version control tab at the end, you would see that the patch 1 has already been applied to this version as well. So what we did, we took the latest Excel version, and when the patch in December were released, we applied that patch, and we make sure that we add the version that the patch has already been applied to your document manager. Okay, so we all know when you submit something to your treasury, they will do these checks that are you using the right version and have you applied the patch. And if you use this update, you would know that you have ticked those boxes. Okay. Always good to check what is if you go to your ribbon here at the top, your Excel ribbon, sometimes connector would be separate, but here under my add-ins is where the connector is that if I go there about connector, you can see I've got connector version 2024-003. So on this Caseware connector needs to run with the Caseware Working Papers 2024 connector version. So that's why I don't have any not applicables showing in any of my calculations. And I know that's a big thing. We really, there were some instances that we you know, in the previous versions where you have not applicables, and in Caseware needed to do some trick to get the not applicables away. and we really also focused on updating this version that those instances are limited to the minimum, and if you have the right versions, you should just automatically don't see any not applicables in this file. Okay. You will notice that, and this is where a bit of the work, and that's why Q3 is so important. You will notice that, unfortunately, your previous version of the Excel that you use, if you want to use this version where the patch has been applied, you would just need to re-import your your prior trial balance. That's where this macro is important. That's why we've added this macro to the document manager. And you all know this macro is that you need to have your prior Excel open, you have your current Excel open, you run the macro, you select your destination file, so the new version there, and your prior file that you need to have open here, and you click proceed, and that will import into this Excel document your prior information. So that's the one option. So you have a template that the patch has already been applied. All you need to do is just go and re-import your prior information. Okay. That's the. I'm just going to check on your appropriation statement. Okay. Then you have another option. If you have been using, and we did make the latest Excel version available to some clients, or it is available on our Caseware community website. What I'm talking about is, let's just go here. I just want to show you hotfix for modified cash. This one here. So our release, our last release for the 2024 year were in May 2024. So let's see that it's not showing. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so it was in May 2024. That was our last release. However, this Excel version was released in after May in I think it was July or July, August, and we made this Excel version, and this is the version without the macro available for users to download. And I know there was the partners in the Eastern Cape that has been using this version. Okay, so they've downloaded the Excel version. It is the right Excel version that says on the cover page, published July 2024. However, and they've been using that file. If you are one of those clients, you then yourself need to apply, and you want to continue using this file, that you are on the right version, you want to continue using this file and for your reporting, then you need to run the patch yourself on your file. Okay, because it's either you use the new version with the patch, then you need to import the prior information, or if you're on the right version and you just want to apply the patch yourself, then you can do that. That's why we've added this patch here as well. And the patch process is very much the same as the import of the prior. You need to have your file that you want to run the patch on open. You select that file and then open up the patch and then run that file. But I would not recommend this process, because this is now stupid. I can't run the patch on a file that already has the patch, So that's why you really need to sort of know what's the version of the Excel file that you've been using. I must say there is a lot of clients that has not been using the latest version. They were waiting for the version where we've already applied the patch, so they will just straight move to this Excel file and continue using that file. Okay. And then I just want to, what's the last thing I want to, and we are really nearly done on the Excel. So on the Excel version, all the additional content that did go also with this file has also been added, you know, and looked at. I just want to see, I think, yes, on authorized expenditure, there was a change we need to make here. The accounting policies has been updated. I just want to, and the same applies here on a departmental revenue, the gifts and donations section that has changed, and gifts and donations received in kind. You can see it's a very simplified table, a link to the annexure now. Aid assistance. So I didn't show you in the case view, but the same happens there. The aid assistance on the aid assistance in kind. This table has also changed, and now the case view, it has changed from the previous version. There's a change in the Excel, there's a change in the case view, and we aligned the two with each other. Okay. Okay, I think at this point we are at 11 o'clock. I just want to check in then with our audience. Is there any questions that anybody has? Please feel free to let me know. Okay, I don't see, and we can unmute anybody. Anybody want to go? Everybody wants to go, you know, on audio, or you can use the chat function. You can write us a question, or if you don't have any questions, or you want to maybe speak to the team personally. Sorry, just hold on. Oh, okay. Or you want to speak to the team personally, and we can make arrangements for that as well. But yeah, any questions from the floor? Maybe just one thing I can just mention for those that does use SmartSync. Remember, in the update process, there's additional processes you need to follow. You can only run the update when you have don't have any outstanding SmartSync copies. But you will normally, there's some nice workflows during the update process that will guide you to say, listen, you can't run the update, please go and make sure that these SmartSync copies are synced back and have been abandoned, and only after that you would be able to run the update. Okay, cool. I think, Michael, I can maybe hand back to you then.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Yeah, we will be on the lookout for any questions that you might be posting. So far there aren't any, but just one other thing to note, the handouts or the slides to this presentation are included on the webinar. just head to the handouts section and you can download them. That's one. The second one is that a recording of this webinar will be shared with all attendees after the webinar. Be on the lookout in your emails for that. We will be around for the next few minutes or so. In case you think of any other question, we will be happy to respond. But once again, thank you so much for joining in and all the best with your Q3 submissions. Should you encounter any challenges, we are available to assist. Just pop through a question or a query through our support line, or you can send us emails directly. We will be happy to assist you. Thank you so much once again.